Welcome. This is where we get to talk and debate about all things paranormal, strange, and just plain weird, just like you saw there. And from time to time, we'll have special guests joining us, those who investigate ghosts and haunted places, hunt Bigfoot, chase UFOs, discover metaphysical mysteries, or uncover the truth surrounding urban legends and myths. I'm Jackie Meter, Director of Central California Paranormal Investigators, and here with me is my co-host and partner, sensitive healer, Reiki Master of Sacred Light, Reiki Krista Erickson. Hey.
Hello.
Like that, huh?
I know.
Like the ooh,
very spooky
yeah.
for
Hey,
October.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Good.
What'd you do? Anything fun?
I sat in bed because I've been sick.
Oh, I can tell.
Hence
I
the
can tell.
voice. So
I can tell.
I
Yeah.
will try really hard not to cough in everyone's ear today.
Okay.
But
Are you going to lose your voice?
We'll find out.
So let's talk about strange and weird and paranormal.
Right. How was your weekend?
Good. Mellow. My birthday was yesterday, so yeah.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Where's my cake? I don't have a cake. But I we went to Olive Garden.
Yeah.
And I love their lemon cake. You ever had their lemon cake? Oh,
I haven't, but I've always wanted to.
It's to die for. That's no pun intended, but it's really, really, really good. Really good.
I will have to try it next time I go because I love anything lemon.
I think I had the shrimp and chicken carbonara, and my husband had the shrimp Alfredo, which he loves. And my mom had shrimp Alfredo. She really liked it too.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
I'm glad you had a good birthday.
Yeah, it was fun. I got a lot of good well wishes, and nice to hear from everybody and stuff. So that was pleasant.
Good.
So I can't wait for next year.
Any big presents?
No, we don't do the birthday present thing. It's,
Yeah, we don't really either.
It's like if I need something, I just
buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the things that I need are things that my husband would never buy for me as a gift because it would be like a slap in the face. Like I need like a hand vac.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not buying you a vacuum for your birthday.
No,
I'm like, good call.
No.
All right. Well, shall we?
Yes, let's get started.
Let's get started. All right. So for our first segment today, we have our In the News. And since this is our Halloween show, we thought that we'd bring you a story that's been hitting social media for the past couple of months now. A reality television first is scheduled for the eve of Halloween this year, so this is going to be exciting. And this is the telecast of a live exorcism. Discovery's Destination America network will air Exorcism Live. Sorry, I feel like I have to add that because there's the exclamation point. This is going to air October 30th. The program will revisit the real life story. I'm laughing because Jackie's over here banging her head on the desk. But they're going to revisit the real life story and the house that inspired William Peter Blady's 1971 novel and William Friedkin's 1973 film, both titled The Exorcist. So we've all heard of it. Most of us have probably seen it. And you all remember the iconic photo of the film, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the book and film focuses on a demonically possessed girl and a priest's effort to rid the devil from her body. It is, or was, I should say, based on an actual event in St. Louis in 1949, which will observe its 66th anniversary this year. Now, in their promotional material for Exorcism Live, sorry, and I quote, "No one has ever attempted to rid the lurking spirits and demons that inhabit this home until now," unquote. A team of paranormal investigators will go through the house using modern ghost hunting technology. And so we've been hearing Psychic Chip Coffee, who's very popular. If you're into the paranormal at all, you know who Chip is, will be a part of that group. And for bonus points, viewers will be able to add to their watching or to their experience by watching a number of live cameras placed throughout the home and communicate via social media. So I have mixed thoughts on this.
My thoughts aren't mixed at all.
Not mixed.
Not
Mine really aren't that mixed either.
I cannot even tell you how bad an idea this is. When I first read this, was a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, I thought, why? I just went, this is just not a good idea. This is such a Well, first of all, let me start with the facts. Okay,
Okay, facts
both
first.
the book and the movie. They mention here that the lurking spirits and demons that inhabit the house. That's BS. Both the book and the movie, they only had one. They only dealt with one. There were not a myriad of different ghosts and demons through the show,
Right.
through the book or whatever.
Right,
There was only
right.
one. That's the way I remember it. Okay.
That's how I remember.
Yeah.
I never read the book,
Okay.
but I've seen both movies.
Yeah.
The remake and the original. I know
Right.
at least the movies only ever focused on one.
Yeah, it's always been one as far as I remember. So, now all of a sudden we have a whole bunch of spirits and demons in this house that we need to get rid of on TV.
Right.
Live.
Right. Right.
I'm going, the unmitigated gall of these people to showcase some kind it's a sacred rite, Catholic rite. I know other religions practice exorcism, so it's a sacred rite, along with marriage, baptism, last rites, all that, and yet to put this on TV and exploit it
Yeah.
is just so wrong. I'm
agree.
I'm not that good of a Catholic girl, but I am Catholic, so I go to church every Sunday, but there's so many things that can go wrong. We're looking at copycats.
Right.
People are going to do this.
Here's my biggest thing. First of all, let's just assume assume that this is a legitimate demon that they're dealing with.
Correct. Okay.
And now, what's going to happen during an exorcism?
Somebody gets possessed.
Somebody gets possessed, people die.
Right.
And people get hurt. So
Right.
let's assume that this is a legitimate demon and that they're actually going to perform an exorcism, and then they're going to air that live. That to me that just it blows my mind, because you don't know what's going to happen, what's going to go wrong.
Right.
And then the fact that they're airing it at all, how much of it is just going to be Hollywood BS and hype?
99%.
The tense music.
The only thing that's true is the title.
Right.
The Exorcist. But think about it though. In the movie and in the book, the demon was cast out. Went into Father Karras. Father Karras
Right.
committed suicide.
Exactly.
The demon was gone. So what demon are they dealing with?
That's a good question too.
Supposed demon, alleged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because according to the book and the movies, you're right. The demon's gone. So what's left? What is left to exorcise?
Right. Right.
I think it's a bunch of.
Yeah, people.
Baloney.
People just have a little sense here. I think take it for entertainment. Value only. Don't take it as the gospel. I think that's what I'm afraid of the most.
Yeah.
Back in the medieval era, when they treated mental illness as being possessed by the devil, that's going to shove us all the way back. People are going to think, well, he's not mentally ill. Doesn't need a doctor. He needs to be exercised.
Right.
So, and there are copycats out there. People just don't know any better,
And please, for the love of all that is good, don't watch it and then attempt to go do it yourself.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
just-
torn.
Yeah.
Because part of me doesn't want to watch it.
Right.
Just because of the ethics
Just the
thing.
pure principle of it, I don't want to watch it.
Right.
But I'm still curious.
Well, it's not that. It's just, for me, it's like, if I'm going to talk about the show and how wrong I think it is, I need to watch the show to know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
So, I'm torn. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. I'm probably tape it and then decide later.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never watch live TV. I hardly ever.
Right.
Live!
Live! And Chip Coffey, I know Chip, and he's a great guy. I'm surprised he would be involved with
Chip,
something.
and I kind of thought the same thing. I'm surprised that he's involved with something
Right.
like this, because I've always had
Yeah.
a lot of respect for him. And not saying that this is an unrespectable thing necessarily, but
Oh, I do.
well, I'll tell you after I see it. But
I do.
anyway.
Yeah,
so
but you're right.
There you
It's gonna
go.
be-
Our opinions.
It's going to be Hollywood hype. It is. It's going to be BS. It'll be 99% entertainment Hollywood hype, and that's a lot what I'm afraid of.
I having not even seen it, I already question how authentic reactions are going to be, how authentic the situations are going to be,
Yes.
because it's and especially because they're doing it live, the producers have this extra pressure
Yes.
to make it exciting.
Yes.
So I guarantee you that they're already coaching everybody on how to react, and bigger is better, and I mean, it's live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. Okay, we're through ranting and raving,
Yes.
and how bad an idea this is, and people just if you watch it or not, just be careful. Just don't take it as the gospel. It's all Hollywood. All right. We're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on. Okay.
Next.
Yeah, I don't want to dwell too much on that. A vampire has finally been caught on camera, although it's rather cuddlier than you might expect. There is an elusive species of squirrel found in the jungles of Borneo that local legend claims to hunt deer and drink blood. Because of its ferocious reputation, it is now being dubbed the vampire squirrel, but is otherwise known as the tufted ground squirrel. And this tiny little animal is more than meets the eye. What it's definitely not is a vampire. It has a surprising yet unconfirmed reputation for bloodthirsty behavior. It is reported to be a ferocious carnivore that ambushes deer and attacks domestic chickens, draining their blood and eating their hearts and livers, though this behavior has never been observed scientifically. We have some rare video, and so we're going to take a look at that video. Okay, one thing that can't be disputed, though, is just how fluffy its tail is. The largest known tail-to-body ratio of any mammal. Researchers suspect it could be used to make the animal look bigger to ward off predators, or it could be used as a mop to hide the evidence of a brutal vampire attack. Wait a minute, whoa.
Oh,
Oh no ghosts in the house, please. No ghosts in the house. That's good, you guys. That is really good. You surprised us. How good that is. Yes. I
Thanks,
like
Johnny.
that. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, crew.
our little Halloween spooking.
Okay, so back to our
Okay, back to the
tufted
squirrel.
ground squirrel.
So I love the fact that people think that they use his fluffy tail to mop up the blood of its victims.
Use a napkin. I know. But I mean, it's rare. The video you saw was very rare footage. So we know it's there. We know it lives there. The tribes have seen it, and they're the ones that are describing this, the way this thing acts, and they've seen the evidence. Okay.
Well, and they said that this squirrel goes straight for the jugular, that
Yes.
it'll actually like sit on top of a tree branch
Yes.
and wait for the animal to walk underneath and just
Yeah, it goes straight for the
Yeah,
for the
goes
throat.
straight for the
So, and
throat.
then
It's a vicious little thing.
then it just casually munches on the inside. So
Right.
But it was interesting. It doesn't touch the flesh.
yeah, it leaves
I
the
was
hide, the
surprised.
skin, and yeah, very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. So
Crazy
I
squirrel.
know a few people that are deathly afraid of squirrels, and probably I should say, do not go to Borneo or Australia.
I'm afraid of squirrels, but only because here in the Sierra Nevada they carry the black
The
plague.
plague. Yeah. Don't go to Yosemite and camp.
Yeah. Well, just don't touch the dead squirrels, really.
Well, I think it's the fleas.
It is. You're right.
fleas.
It's the
It's the
fleas that
fleas,
are on
yeah.
the squirrels.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, no plague here, please.
And I guess, is it that time?
Is
Do we
it?
know what time it is?
What time is it?
As the paranormal world turns.
Dun, dun, dun.
Krista has an amazing story for you all.
I don't know if I'd call it amazing. So, I want to preempt this story by stating, if you watch the show, you've heard me say in the past that if you feel the call to become a mental health practitioner, please do it. Because we need more mental
need
health
more.
practitioners in this world.
We need more.
And this right here is a prime example of why. So, I'm going to see if I can get through this with a straight face. In Waco, Texas, a man there says that he wakes up every morning to find crap all over his house. Now, when I say crap, I mean poop. He finds it on the floors, on the bed, in the closets, even in his shoes. And at first he tried to blame raccoons, but after he set up a surveillance camera, he discovered that a ghost was the culprit. Apparently, this man took a picture of what he says is an orb, which in theory is an alleged form ghosts sometimes take. But this orb was moving its bowels in his dining room. But there's one thing that he can't understand, which is that ghosts don't eat, so how can they poop, right?
Man's got a point.
He does have a point. So he goes on to say, quote, "This SOB is going number 2 everywhere, and it smells like nothing I've ever smelled before," unquote. I have to wear a gas mask. But that's not even the worst of it.
No,
okay,
no.
The worst thing was when he awoke one morning and he found the word poop written on his garage wall with poop. So in his own words, why would this spook write poop on my wall? I've done nothing wrong. Sure, I've cursed it to hell many times, but only because it was dumping in my house. It started this, not me, unquote. So talk about a shitty story.
Well, this guy says put a surveillance camera up and has
Right.
video. I want to see the video of this ghost pooping in his house.
Yeah, where's the proof,
video,
dude?
Where's the
Where's
video? There was
proof?
with his story. There was no video to be had, just the pictures. So
So, okay. I like to give people the benefit of a doubt. So let's assume it's a ghost that's pooping in his house. How does a ghost poop?
No.
Well, like I said, I like to give people, I'm not saying I am giving it to them. Okay, so then let's talk about the bigger issue here.
Yeah.
So somebody or something is pooping in this guy's house on a regular
I
basis.
thought you were going to say the guy has a mental issue problem.
Well,
That's the bigger problem.
well, that is the bigger problem, obviously, because not only is somebody or something pooping in his house, somebody is writing poop on the walls in poop.
I don't know. Maybe he's doing it himself. I don't know.
That's what I think. I think that there's some mental illness there.
Oh
but-
yeah. I
mean-
think that's a given. He certainly needs some help and to find out what's going on there. So, and seriously, I really hope he gets the help that he needs because, or at least investigate this claim so that at least he can have some closure of what's going on or help.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's some of these stories that come across our desk are just insane, and yet and I've been watching them and kind of collecting them so that we can use in the show, and it's like, I mean, there are some really strange stories. I mean, I have one that's about a haunted laptop. I haven't put that up yet, but we will. Oh, that looks cool. Look at that, look cool.
It does
God, that
look
looks
cool.
cool.
I love it.
You guys did a good job. That really looks cool. It looks cool. Yeah, I know. It's live.
Well, you got to do the jazz hands. It's live. Okay. But yeah, so that's as the paranormal world turns.
Yeah.
Tune in next month. See what else is weird and strange in the news.
Yeah. Before I introduce our guest, let me tell you a little something about him. He's a Central Valley boy, graduated from Redwood High School in Visalia, California, a San Francisco 49er fan, a horror movie buff, and a Star Wars fanatic. He has 2 jobs, one to put food on the table, and the other a passion for the supernatural. A member of the Martinez Paranormal Group, this passion takes him on a journey as a filmmaker in producing films that are based on real life, accounts with people in the paranormal field. Please welcome our friend, Jesus Martinez. Hey.
Hi, Jesus. Good to see you.
Krista.
Oh,
Thank
man,
you.
this is great. I'm so happy
Jackie.
you're here. Oh.
Thank you for inviting me on your
Oh,
show.
thank you for coming.
So glad I got to be here.
Yeah.
And this is your second anniversary.
Yes, yes.
It is
Sure.
our second anniversary.
Thank you for
That's-
remembering.
We barely
I'm
remember.
honored to be on it,
Yeah.
especially the Halloween
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Well, Scott was to be our first ever guest, and he was close. But you're our second anniversary. So
Yeah, so we have a Wolfe Manor theme.
we
going
have a
on
Wolfe
little
Manor
bit,
theme
right?
going. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Jesus. Well, let's start off and tell everyone about yourself and how you got involved in this paranormal world.
Well, as far back as I can remember, the house that my parents lived in when my mom was pregnant with me was haunted, based on their accounts that I grew up listening to them about, and I would hear stories of very, very strange and very frightening events that would happen to members of my family
Wow.
around the time that they were living there. I think it was several members of the family. I think it was my mother, father, two uncles, and an aunt. And there was a property that had one house that my parents and two uncles lived in, which was a little ranch house on the property. And there was a guest house on the property, which my aunt lived in by herself. And then the owners of the property had their newly built
Right.
two-story house. So my parents would rent the two other buildings from the
Sure.
property owners.
Sure.
Okay.
And from what I've heard over the years is my father would see knives levitate in the house.
Wow.
He told me stories of that kind of activity, and then my mom would, while she was pregnant with me, she says that she would spend a lot of time alone because she did not have a job. The family supported her while she
Sure.
was pregnant with me. So she would be in the house alone, and she says that she would feel presences in the house, and he says that she never felt like she was alone. He says it just always felt like somebody was there.
So
In a good way or a bad way?
yeah.
Well, I cannot really say because the most frightening story that came out of that house, and this was in Modesto, California. I was born in Modesto, California, and this house that we lived in, the guest house that my aunt lived in, she says that one morning she woke up and she says she saw the devil.
Oh.
And according to the accounts from my parents, she ran out of the guest house, ran into the ranch house where my parents were living, and she says, "I just saw the devil," like really loud. "I just saw the devil." And according to accounts, they said that when she woke up, the room was completely red.
Oh.
It was just red.
And how old
And,
were you when all this happened?
I was still in my mother's womb.
Oh, okay, okay.
And all this was happening still in that house while I was being pregnant. While my mom was pregnant with me, and she says that it was the most frightening account ever by members of my own family.
So sounds like your mom is sensitive or psychic.
She might be. I never really had her go out on the field and investigate.
Right, but they wouldn't have talked about it a lot because back then that was something you just didn't discuss. But it sounds like are you sensitive?
No. When I'm out on the field investigating, I do try to get a sense of what's in the environment, but I'm not sensitive in a way I can actually pick up a spirit and I can actually know what that person is or what spirit is.
Right.
I'm not capable of doing that, but I have picked up on presences and
Well, that's been sensitive. I mean, there are varying degrees, but yeah.
lower degree
Yeah.
of sensitivity.
Sure.
But it sounds like you've really been immersed in it literally your entire life. then.
Yes, and growing up listening to these stories, I would take the opportunity to look into the paranormal.
Sure.
And I remember when I was in high school, in Redwood High School, during my lunch period, most people would just go out and have fun and talk. And
Not you.
Not you.
Yeah, I went to the library. I would go to the library and I would read newspapers. I would read books. I would
Yeah.
just get myself filled with all kinds of information
Yeah.
because at that time that was the equivalent
Yeah.
of having a cell phone
Yeah.
with a smartphone with your access to
Sure.
the internet and
Right.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
But when I was in high school, it was just going to the library.
Library.
Reading the newspapers there, and of course every once in a while I would go and look for paranormal
Yeah.
type books, and really try to get myself to get a sense of what all that is about,
Yeah.
away from what my family would tell me.
Yeah.
Now, but you ended up creating the Martinez Paranormal Group,
Yes.
which is family, right?
Yes, that's why I call it the Martinez Paranormal Group. I know most groups use the name of the city that they're from, but I decided to use the name of the family because it's a family group,
Sure.
and we're not the only ones that do that. There's
Sure.
other group called the Paranormals. Their last name is Perry, so
Perry.
they call it the Paranormals. They're a very cool
That's
group
cute.
out there, and I got to meet those guys. So I decided to call it Martinez Paranormal because it was the family
Sure.
based, and even though we're based out of Clovis, we go all over.
What year did you guys form your group?
We formed it in 2008,
Okay.
and how it started was, I know that when I lived in a certain house back in 2002, in 2003, I began to experience paranormal events for the first time ever.
Okay.
And there was incidents where I was trying to pour a glass of milk, and I placed the glass on the table, and I go to pour the carton of milk, and the glass just shot over automatically
Somebody
right in
didn't
front of
want-
me. And
want you drinking their milk.
yes, and a lot of these events happen either I was in bed or I was alone in the house.
Yeah.
And incidents like that just began to pick up, especially in 2003. I don't know why 2003 was
Yeah.
the year, but that was the year where I experienced more paranormal activity before I got into investigating. Another incident was when I was really tired of the day, and I came home from work and I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to bed, and I was looking for my TV remote because I like controlling my TV while I'm in bed, and then I fall asleep. I looked all over for my
Yeah.
TV remote, and I could not find it, and I was just so tired, and I was like, I'll just lay down, I'll just leave the TV on, whatever channel it is, and I'll just lay down. And I woke up at around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I look at my right hand, the remote control was in my right hand.
Oh my gosh.
They said,
And-
here it is.
And that was when a lot of it really started picking up. I noticed that I began to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning a lot in that house. I mean, I would be
It's pretty common. 3 o'clock, the witching hour, they call
Dead
Yes.
time.
it. Dead time, yep, dead
Don't
time.
get me started.
and it would happen a lot. And then there was one incident where I was in bed, and right around 3 o'clock, I wake up and I hear this pulsating noise, like this, or something
Yeah.
like snapping noise, like,
Uh-huh.
and it was coming from all over the
Yeah.
room.
Wow.
And I get up, and I immediately pick up a presence. Like
Sure.
it's not something I usually do.
So you
Right.
are a
And-
little sensitive.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think something in
he
that
is.
room sort of amplified it, because when I picked up that present, it felt like a presence of a man that was next to my bed. And this is before I opened my eyes. I was like,
Right.
something's in my room. I open my eyes, I see what looks like a man in a black robe next to my bed.
Yeah.
And I see it walk towards the bathroom. I was in the master bedroom at the time, and walk towards the master bathroom, which is inside the bedroom, and there's only one way in, one way out. So after it walks in, I get up, I follow it, and it's gone.
Wow.
That was the
I love
only time I experienced seeing an apparition with my own eyes. And of course, at the time, I wasn't really into paranormal investigating. I was just a really tired, hard worker.
That had to have been pretty frightening.
Well,
It was.
yeah.
It was frightening, and I remember just being startled and thinking how much of this is going to happen to me.
Sure. But that
Now-
was pretty much the catalyst of how you
Yes.
got the Martinez group together?
And well, a year later, a show came up called Ghost Hunters. We all know that show.
Yes.
Everybody who
Yeah.
into
Everyone knows Ghost Hunters.
Yes.
paranormal investigating. For me, it came at a
Yes.
great time. It was the
Yes.
year after
You were
all this
ready.
was happening.
You were
So
ready.
I said, "Oh, Ghost Hunters, a new show on Sci-Fi," and I'm like, "I'm gonna watch this thing, and I want to learn."
Yeah. you brought some stuff for us to take a look at. So we're going to do some, I think they're all videos. We got 3. I know you sent me more, but these 3 I thought were very interesting. So we're going to show that first video, and I think it's at the Padre Hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So set us up for the video.
Okay, the Padre Hotel in 2009, this was still our first year as a
Right.
group. We were invited to investigate while they were renovating it. I mean, if you go there right now, it's a beautiful hotel. You can stay there. Great
Right.
amenities there. It's very luxurious
Right.
now. The current owner really fixed it up and made it very luxurious, and it's a great place to stay. But in 2009, they were renovating it, so it wasn't occupied. There was nobody staying there.
Perfect.
Okay.
And so we
Perfect.
Good
got
conditions.
we got scaffolding, we got drywall everywhere, we
Right.
got railings that are missing. So
Yeah.
it was dangerous, but we got the opportunity to
Sure.
go in there and check it out. The owner contacted us saying, "Hey, the workers
Yeah.
are seeing apparitions that walk through the walls. They're hearing noises in some of the rooms."
That's a good time to go.
Yes.
And they contacted us, and we invited 2 other groups, which was APRA, the American Paranormal Research
Yeah.
Association, based in Bakersfield, and the Porterville Ghost Society.
Yes. That cat.
We invited those 2 groups
Yeah.
in to join us, and along with that, we invited Mark and Debbie Constantino,
Yeah.
the EVP specialists. They joined us, so it was 3 groups and 2 EVP specialists.
Good.
There's no way we can miss anything. We have the best of the area.
Okay, well, let's see what you caught.
Yeah, let's take a look at
Let's
that
watch
video
this.
1 at the Padre Hotel. Yeah, very clear.
Yeah, I was on the 3rd floor
Yeah.
on my own, and you can hear some of the other group members in the background. And that was where a lot of activity was captured early by the other groups.
Right.
And I decided, okay, I'm going to just sit here, and I'm just going to run the recorder, and I'm going to play it back as I'm filming the whole thing. And I
Okay.
captured those voices. They were one of the best
Right.
that I captured.
Pray, get down and pray. That's kind of an ominous,
Yeah.
an ominous VP.
The next one is at the Old Washoe Club, and that's in Virginia City.
Yes.
And this one was definitely caught my attention. So you were there. How recent is this one?
This was a year ago.
Okay.
Actually, a year ago today, the day that we're filming
Wow.
this interview, the September 16th, 2014.
Okay.
And I took just the main members of my
Yeah.
group, Martinez Paranormal, myself, my brother, and my cousin, Pablo. So the 3 of us set up an overnight investigation in the building on our own. And it was a Tuesday night, so there was very little activity happening in town. I mean, and over the weekend it gets crazy overnight, but we decided to do this Tuesday night so we don't have background noise and everybody's
Right.
not in
That's
the streets.
nice.
And early on, we began to really sense that we were not alone, because we were just picking up noises from everywhere. And what happened here not only startled us, but it's really scared my brother.
Yeah.
It really did scare my brother, and to this day, I don't think we ever captured such activity on film as well than in that place. That place is notorious for hauntings.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
Very
yeah.
notorious for hauntings. It's been on all the paranormal TV shows, and
Yeah.
we had to go there ourselves and
Yeah.
see what happens. And this is what happened to us.
All right.
Okay, if we can show video 2 at the Old Washoe Club in Virginia City.
See that? That's a bit louder.
Wait.
Let me look into that. That's a bit louder.
Wait.
Let me look into that.
Yeah, I was just mentioning that I like how you synchronize those 2 cameras together so you can see the same thing going on from different angles.
Yeah, the best way
Right.
to investigate is use as much equipment as you
Sure.
can running at all times, because ghosts will not make themselves present on cue.
Exactly. Exactly.
It will happen at any time,
Unfortunately.
and most of the time, from our experience, most of the time it'll
Yeah.
be when we're not focusing on
Yeah, you're not
investigating.
paying attention.
It'll happen right when we're just
Yeah.
talking about something off topic, and stuff like that happens.
Yeah, some of the best EVPs I had when we're just taking a break and just talking amongst ourselves about different stuff. You'll have EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena, and come in and make comments
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
and whole sentences. And I'm going, where, what was that? You know?
Or you hear the loud noises as you're changing batteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darn ghosts.
Okay, the third one we have is the one at the Wolfe Manor with the little girl. So,
My team was at the Wolfe Manor with the crew from the Haunted
Right.
Wolfe Manor Live,
right.
and I was downstairs with Todd Wolfe,
Uh-huh.
and we were filming for the show,
Right.
investigating. Todd was asking questions, and I was asking questions, and when I would ask one of the questions out there, I got a response where the little boy, it sounds like a little boy, a little girl, saying hurt, and you can hear it clearly in
Yeah.
the recording
Yeah.
that it's a little boy or a little girl.
I
it's a child.
I took a little girl away from there. That's what I thought at first. But yeah,
You can
that's great.
clearly hear it though.
Yes, very,
Right.
very.
Let's
Can we
watch it.
show video 3?
Why are you so afraid of us?
That was the clearest for me, was the
Okay.
hurt and then the hiding in the tree. So
Okay.
we wanted to talk to you about filmmaker, and I know that's what you kind of always wanted to do. This has been something that you always dreamed about.
Well, I was always fascinated with how television works, the process of putting a show together, putting films together. And growing up, of course, I was a movie buff. I loved watching movies, especially paranormal-based movies. So by the time I was planning to put together a paranormal group, I decided to combine that with my passion for filmmaking. So along with the creation of Martinez Paranormal Group, I created an extension of that called MPG Paranormal Media, and in which I would use our group to film and put together presentations based on where we go. And for 6 years now, I've put together a lot of
I've seen
presentations
a lot.
of not only the stuff that we capture and we investigate, but other groups investigate as well. And I remember in 2009, I think it was summer 2009, I was at the gym, and I did not realize this at first, but right next to me, there was a guy on the treadmill next to me, and I look over, like, this guy looks familiar. And I look over, it's like, it's Todd Wolfe. Todd Wolfe of the Wolfe Manor is on the treadmill next to me at the gym, and I say, hey, Todd Wolfe, I'm a big fan of your plays. And he recognized me, and he said, hey, I'm a big fan of your videos.
It was meant to be.
That
And
was.
from there, my relationship with Todd Wolfe began.
Yeah.
It was at the gym, of all places.
Yeah.
And we started talking. He's like, well, I love investigating and I love putting stuff together. And he says, well, we have the Haunted Wolf Manor live show and we're planning to take in a different direction. Would you like to help us? And I said, okay. And with Todd Wolfe and Scott Greenwald and Terry Campbell, we began putting together the 4th season of the Haunted Wolf Manor Live, in which it wasn't really live, it was fully edited, and it was filmed with multiple cameras, something that they couldn't do back then because they were so limited on their ability to do live stuff with multiple cameras.
Right.
And I agreed, and from then on, I began putting together videos for Todd Wolfe and really putting the Wolf Manor out there.
And it sounds like it kind of became a passion, because now you've
It did.
created a full-length documentary on the Wolf Manor.
Yeah, all that led up to the documentary. I know after working with Todd for almost 6 years at that point, last year he called me up and he says, I need you for one project.
Oh.
And I says, sure, anything for you. And he says, they're going to tear down the Wolf Manor, it's inevitable. I need you to help me document the final moments. I said, okay, I'll get the film crew over there. It's myself and my brother. We have 6 cameras and everything we need to do mobile production. And we went out there, filmed his final tour of the mansion, and his also
Sad.
overall his final farewell.
Right.
And after a day of filming, we would go back and film B-roll, and a few days later they tore it down, and we were there to film the actual demolition, and that was the beginning of the project. And then after that we said, okay, we're gonna put this stuff aside and we're gonna plan how we're gonna put this whole thing together. So we went through the winter months pretty much taking a break from this and then saying, we need a plan to make this big.
Sure.
Right.
We want to make this big. Todd Wolfe says, you got some amazing footage now, because nobody got to see what it was like to be in the Wolf Manor after they took out a layer of asbestos, because for the final few days, the Wolf Manor was in a state, or in a condition to where people would not recognize it from the inside because of everything that they took out.
I wouldn't have, and I've been there
Yeah.
numerous times, so I wouldn't have. I would.
So,
So I don't want to give too much away for the premiere, but for those who don't know, the Wolf Manor was originally known as the Andrews Estate. It was a turn-of-the-century private residence located in Clovis, California, built by Italian immigrant Anthony Andreotti in 1922. It is speculated that the house was built from a Magnolia Sears home kit that was brought over by train. And according to historian Terry Campbell, Anthony Andreotti, who later changed his name to Anthony Andrews, built the lavish 8,000 square foot home, but unfortunately, due to lack of financial resources, the newly built home was lost in 1926, 4 years after its construction. In 1935, this magnificent house went from being a private residence to a place of death when it was sold and transformed into the Hazelwood Sanitarium, a place to treat people with tuberculosis. In 1942, the sanitarium changed hands again and became the Clovis Avenue Sanitarium, and in the 1950s, it became licensed by the Department of Mental Hygiene. Mr. Campbell also notes that in 1954, a hospital wing was added to the rear of the house where those with mental disorders were treated. And here comes the sad part.
Yeah.
After rumors of murder, suicide, and despicable treatment of the patients, the sanitarium was shut down in 1992 indefinitely. Until Todd Wolfe bought the house for his Scream If You Can Halloween attraction in 1997. Now, this is just a brief history, and Donette Wilson, Clovis historian, does an excellent job in the documentary, but really, is it no wonder that this place was haunted? I mean, the trauma there, experienced in the house, I mean, that's...
And in this documentary, we got together a group of people who knew the house best. And throughout this past summer, I went out and filmed these people and have them tell their stories. and they did such an amazing job, and you were one of them.
Right.
And you got to tell your stories, and, which was very awesome to have you on
Well, thank
on
you.
the documentary.
Thank you.
And
Well, it's a pleasure to be there, and we told you earlier that both of us thought that it was excellently done, and I mean it held my interest. So it's a little over 2 hours, so definitely held my interest for that long. So I'll watch it again, and but it was well done, and
It really does such a great job of giving the whole history
yeah, a
of
lot
the
of
Wolfe
people
Manor,
are
you know.
wanting to hear the story because
Right.
there were people that worked there when it was a Halloween attraction.
Right.
These were high school kids who had their own job while they were going to high school, and they had a lot of memories
Right,
working
right.
in the attraction, and of course with everybody else who would come and go and experience the attraction, because Todd Wolfe was just amazing at putting together
Sure.
Yeah.
a haunted attraction, and then
Yeah,
it
and-
did very well until the city closed it down. So a lot of people were disappointed
Yeah.
with the city from then
Right.
on, and of course that began a lot of problems where the city pretty much wanted to keep that place
Sure.
from progressing.
Sure.
And-
Yeah, and we all know that. We
Yeah.
do. We all know. But you know what really I think interested me most, and I thought was unique, your documentary talks about the hauntings and some of the ghosts that are there, it didn't dwell on that. I mean, there was more history. There were more interviews with people that worked there, like you said. So it didn't focus so much on the haunting as it did the actual history of the home and what it meant to different people. Like you said, the high school actors, to Todd, to other people who worked there. I mean, it's an amazing story. And I think you did a very, very, very good
I
job.
wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
the people told the story, and I would just put together the pieces in the best way possible. That way, when people watch this documentary, they'll get to the entire story from the very beginning,
Yeah.
from
Right.
the moment that the decision was made to build this place. And that's why this documentary, I think, is going to be do very well, because nowhere else will you find
Well,
a
I'll
story
buy
this
one.
clear.
I'm going to buy a copy.
Yeah, I can't wait for everyone to see it. It will be available to watch online and also
Yes.
to purchase a
Okay.
copy.
Okay.
Yes, we'll have copies available on DVD and Blu-ray.
And where do they go to purchase copy?
There's a website called wolfmanor-clovis.com. That's www.wolfmanor-clovis.com. That's the website, and there'll be information on how to purchase.
Good. Yeah, like I said, very well done. And I was so impressed. I'm very
yeah, it
impressed.
was great. It was great.
It was
impressed.
6 years of experience, and I wanted this to be the best presentation I've ever done. Using the experience, and of course I have much better equipment available than I did back then, and I took full advantage of all my equipment, and it came out really good.
Wonderful.
Are you wanting to be available to other groups or people that want to make a film?
Yes, and I've had work with other groups to film.
Okay.
I know last year I worked with a group called GPS Global Paranormal Society, and I had filmed a presentation for them.
Okay.
And
Where can they reach you if they want to get a hold of you?
I'm on Facebook. Look for me, Jesus Martinez, and I have
Okay.
the page on Facebook called MPG Paranormal Media,
Okay.
and that's the official Facebook page for
Great.
my.
We'll
Yeah.
put that at the bottom of our screen so that everybody, if you want to contact Jesus and get his great filmmaking abilities, so we'll let you get in contact with him.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your
Thank you
paranormal journey.
for inviting me. I love your guys' show, and I'm
thank
glad to be
you.
in the
That was
second anniversary
great.
show.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
Halloween
second
show. I think
anniversary,
no better-
live.
Live!
no
the
better
jazz
thing
hands.
than this. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
All
you,
right,
thank
you.
you.
You know I love you.
Oh,
And you
Jackie.
gotta smile more.
Jackie.
You
Oh,
gotta
I
smile
do.
more.
I do. I do. But I'm smiling here now. I'm happy I'm here with you guys.
All
you
right.
again.
All right.
Let's take a look at some movies that are in production right now. You know, both Jackie and I were big movie buffs. She likes to go to the theater a lot. I like to wait till they come out on DVD, but I'm cheap. But there's a lot of good movies that are in production and coming out soon. And by now, you've probably all heard that there's a reboot of the Ghostbusters franchise with an all-girl cast, which I'm really excited about.
I am
This is going to
too.
be a lot of fun.
I am too.
It has Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, and SNL players Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon, all as potential paranormal activity investigators / eliminators. Now, we all know the original foursome, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. This is back in 1984 that it was originally filmed.
I can't believe it's that long ago.
I know. But apparently Murray, who has been historically really adamant about not ever wanting to do another show, but there's rumor that he may or may not make a cameo. So
It would be nice.
yeah, it would be
That
nice.
would be nice.
It'd be nice to see a cameo from any of those guys,
Yes.
really.
Yes.
That'd be great to see.
Yeah, it would.
But the question on much of social media is when a person with a concern can get a tweet in edgewise amidst all the rejoicing, because everyone's really psyched about this movie, is who is going to play Janine? You all remember Janine, right?
Yeah.
She's the Ghostbusters bespeckled, crushing on Egon secretary who likes to read and also play racquetball, originated by the spot-on Annie Potts. As far as I know, they've just started filming, so this is all pretty new still.
By the time this airs, I think they would probably get midway between when filming.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
We'll see.
but and when it came out, I mean, there was a lot of people that were not in favor of this. You know, they did not want to have anybody touch the original and reboot it, remake it, whatever, recast it. They wanted to keep it pure. But I'm for. I think an all-female cast, as long as it's not. You know, I wish they wouldn't call it a remake or a reboot, just an entirely different
I agree
version
with you on that. You know, the
movie.
first one was so great. It's one of those cult classic, iconic films. Why redo it? There's no need to
there's no
redo
need
it.
to. And they could have placed this on the West Coast. Maybe it could have been an offshoot from the original guys. Maybe they were getting too old. Maybe these new kids they were teaching these new kids how to, do cat ghosts and
Right,
stuff.
yeah.
And they could have done so much more rather than making a remake or a reboot. I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, the
I'm
cast is
curious
wonderful.
to see if they stick with the original movie storyline or where they kind of
Yeah.
deviate from it. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna watch it either way.
Oh
'cause,
yeah,
how
and
do you
I'm
not?
for it. I'm glad they're. I mean, Melissa McCarthy is wonderful.
Yeah,
so
she's
it's
pretty
just-
funny.
It's great.
She's pretty
So-
funny. All right, and we got another remake, well, sort of. Screen Gems has scheduled its corset-clad fighting femme fatale film Pride and Prejudice and Zombies for a February 19th, 2016 release. The PPZ movie is based on the 2009 Seth Grahame-Smith novel, which mixes the zombie genre with the famed Jane Austen title. Now, the story follows a zombie apocalypse that has been raging for 70 years. However, the Bennett sisters have just about had enough. So, screenplay written by David O. Russell and filming began last September. Now, I'm a huge Austen fan.
Me too. And when I saw this, I just went, oh, geez, what next? I was really not in favor. And then I started thinking about it, and I started looking at the book, and I started thinking, you know what? The Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell.
Oh, which
started
I'm
out-
so excited for.
Right,
Oh.
but it started off. It was a B movie. It didn't get a lot of publicity, and it's become a cult classic. And now there's been 2 or 3 extra movie sequels made. Now there's another one coming out.
Well, there's the TV show
right.
coming out.
So I mean, I got to thinking about that, and I go, this might be very funny, might be campy, might be, I haven't read the book, so it might actually be pretty good,
Yeah.
So I mean, in period costume, and they're chasing zombies and cutting off their heads. These
Right.
3 women.
Well, and I've heard that, I know a few people that have read the book and said that the book is amazing. They love it.
I need my sword.
Sword.
I need my sword. Yeah, I'm going to cut off her head.
Are you like Michonne from Walking Dead?
Yes, Michonne
Oh,
from
let's
Walking
talk
Dead.
about, have you been watching Fear the Walking
Yes.
Dead? Oh,
God, it's slow.
it is starting off really slow, but I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that,
Spoilers from Johnny and the Control.
Oh,
we were
you-
just told not to give any spoilers because our
Yeah.
producer, or our,
Thanks,
know,
Marlene.
Johnny
Now I
hasn't
have
seen
something
it.
to hold over his head.
Well, I will say, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but I do like, because, with The Walking Dead, you start off with, with the character Rick, and he wakes up from a coma, and
Right.
everything has already happened.
Right.
So you don't really know what happened.
Right.
But with this one, you start from the beginning,
Right.
from the first infections,
Yeah.
So it's that, I like that backstory, that part I find
Right.
interesting.
And you know what bothers me the most is not only how it's just let off so slow, but they're not telling their kids anything.
Yeah.
That just bothers me. These kids are teenagers. They're going, what's going on, Mom? What's going on? But they're not telling them. And it's
Right.
like, don't go to your boyfriend's house because he has this disease and this is what it looks like and it's happening right across the street, and they're not telling him anything. And that to me is just so wrong. Yeah, of course the kid's going to walk out
your
the
lesson,
door.
folks, if the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse happens, tell your kids what's
Tell
up.
your kids what's going on so they can learn how to protect themselves. I know.
All right. Is that enough movie TV talk?
Yeah, it's enough movie TV
All
talk.
right. All right, that about wraps it up. We want to see what CCPI is up to by checking out their website and calendar at ccpifresno.org. And you can check out sacredlightreiki.com to see what I'm up to. And we hope that you enjoyed today's show.
We had fun.
Yeah, this
It was
was fun.
fun.
We hope that you all have a wonderful Halloween. We will see you back for our next show when we talk about more paranormal topics on the last Wednesday of each month at the same channel, same time. Have a wonderful, safe, and spooky Halloween. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, or you want to see what's coming up next or watch past shows, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/Paranormal Journeys.
Yeah. Thanks to our guest, Jesus.
Yes, thank you very much, Jesus, for
Wonderful.
coming and
It was
joining
wonderful
us today.
talking with him. And let's see. You asked the page. Okay. And we want to give a special shout out
right.
to one of our biggest fans. Wanda, are you out there? If you're watching tonight, thank you for all your support. We really appreciate it.
And with that, take care.
And be safe.